Hi and welcome to the Arsenal Circle, here to talk to you today about the upcoming fixtures and where we should be as a football club going into the World Cup, where Arsenal should be going into the World Cup, and what I expect from our fixtures. So the way I'm going to be doing this is I'm just going to separate the Europa League and the Premier League, just because it makes sense to do it that way. So I'm going to talk about the Premier League first, and then I'll go on to the Europa League. But I don't think there's much to talk about in the Europa League because I think it's self-explanatory, but I will go over it quickly. So, right, we have this won't be, I won't go into loads of detail, but I'm just talking about what I expect from the upcoming matches, right? So the fixtures we have coming up in October that are in the Premier League is Liverpool at home, we have Leeds away, we have Southampton away, and we have Forest at home. If I'm being honest with you, that's 12 points. We should win every single one of those matches based off of form and based off of ability. Right now, Liverpool are in the worst form they have been in that I have lived through. Probably, maybe an exaggeration, but in the last 10 years maybe, or 5 years, or whatever, they're in the worst form that I have seen. And they are stinking out the gaff. Trent is terrible. And Martinelli's in the form of his life. That is going to be a mismatch. Martinelli should dominate Trent. But realistically speaking, this may not happen. But yeah, there's just a lot of matchups like that on the field. Like a lot of, Jesus versus Van Dijk and Matip. Maybe that's not as easy as it sounds. But then Robertson's not playing that well. And Trent isn't playing that well. So our wingers should dominate their fullbacks. And their centre-halves are going to have to do a lot in that match. And, that's where I'm hoping we hit Liverpool, is on the wings. And that's how we play usually. So I do expect us to win that match. And I don't think that's cocky to say that. Because Liverpool aren't in good form. We are in good form. And we've just beaten Spurs. And they scraped a draw against Brighton, with a new manager that doesn't know how the system works at Brighton. So, and at Anfield. And we're going to be at the Emirates when we play them. So, the Emirates has become a fortress this season. I do hope we get 3 points from that match, but I understand that can't be expected. I think we will, right? Then moving on to Leeds away. This is going to be a different type of match. This is going to be a difficult match. Right, we're talking about a whole different atmosphere. The crowd won't be backing us. Leeds fans are very hostile. Not in a bad way. They're just very loud. They're just good fans, right? So it's difficult to come up against fans like that in the Premier League. That is why the Emirates has turned into such a good stadium this season, because it's been so loud there. But yeah, I do expect us to walk away with 3 points on this match again, because last time we played Leeds in the Premier League, I believe we just dominated them. This is at Ellen Road. I think we did. We just outplayed them, and Leeds, I've never seen as a threat for Arsenal, at least in terms of the way they play. However, Sinisterra is in some form, although he's got a red card. That's only for next match, but Sinisterra is in some form. Rodrigo has come back. We're looking at a decent team under Jesse March, but I do expect us to walk away with the 3 points again. And then we move on to the 23rd of October, where we have Southampton away from home. This match should be interesting. You know what? Southampton are shit right now. They're really not that good, but they might be able to put up a fight. But I do hope this is a match. This is the only match this month that I hope we walk over them. Let's get 4 goals in a match with them getting 0, 4-5-0. Let's just do that. Let's show them what we're about away from home. Give the away supporters something to celebrate. Southampton's not nearby, of course, so a long travel for those supporters, and that's what I'd love to see. And I think we should beat them, but it's about how much we dominate the match, and I hope we do. And then finally, the final Premier League match that we have in October is Nottingham Forest. Now this match is at home again. Listen. The way I said we should dominate Southampton, and that's the only match we should dominate on goals, Obviously, we will probably dominate Leeds, Southampton, and Forest in terms of the ball. But Southampton's the only one I think we should dominate on goals. Forest, I think we'll only beat by 1 or 2. I still think we'll beat them, but you know they're quite a good team this season, and it's a bit scary to see. But yes, that is the October rundown. I think we should win all of those matches, and you know, an extra 12 points in the league table is very good, and that would, well, obviously that would keep us first. But if we can you know, keep this form up, we have Chelsea away. We have Chelsea away as our first fixture of November in the 6th. This is the first fixture. I don't think we will walk away with 3 points at the end of it, right? Of coming up so far. That's because you know, Chelsea are getting some form now under Graham. Well, they're not getting some form, but they managed to turn it around against Palace, and I think their team's starting to gel under Graham Potter. And I think by this point, especially at the Bridge, that'll be a very difficult game. But I do think we will walk. I still don't think we'll lose this match, right? You know, this is very cocky. I'm not saying we lose. I still haven't said we'd lose, but you know, 1 point against Chelsea, I'd be happy with that, especially just considering the circumstances. Although we could win it. We might be miles favourites. Maybe Chelsea are having a stinky run of form by then, or maybe they've revitalised their team. Re-energized their team, and it's going all well, and they're pushing for that top 4, like properly. I will quickly go over the Arsenal-Brighton game, Carabao Cup, because I think this is our only Carabao Cup game. We should win that. And then Wolves away, you know, that is tough, having 2 Premier League away matches in a row in November. Those are the only 2. That's the last Prem match in November. So our last home match is in October for the Prem fixtures. So, you know, the Molineux, though, it's not as it's a great stadium and they have great fans, but it's not like, oh no, you know, we're going to the Molineux, we might struggle due to their fans. Their fans are really good fans, and I don't deny that, but they don't off-put opposition the way that Anfield does, or the way that Leeds Ellen Road does, right? So Wolves, thing is, I don't think we lose any of these matches. I think we will beat Wolves, and I'd be very happy with that. And I think we should beat Wolves. I think the interesting thing about November is the 2 Premier League matches. I think we should focus on those. I think if we don't think about Zurich and we don't think about Brighton, and we just kind of, because by then we should have the group stage on lock in the Europa League, so we can say, who cares about Zurich, right? And then we put our best team on against Chelsea. Maybe we pick up 3 points there, and then we let them rest again for the Brighton game, and we pick up 3 points at Molineux. If we are able to win every game up until the World Cup, that is incredible. And that is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 matches, which is, we've won 8, we've lost 1, so that would be 14 matches, right, where we've won, and 1 match that we've lost going into the World Cup. That's kind of mad, and I think we could do that. But the only fixtures that I'm kind of worried about here is the Liverpool fixture. Obviously, you can't not be worried about that, and the Chelsea fixture. Those are the only fixtures where I see us dropping points. If we drop points to any of these other teams on the form we're on, and we don't get any like major injuries, I'd be disappointed, in my opinion. Maybe that's a bit cocky, but that's just how I feel. Now, moving on to the Europa League matches, we have Bodo Glimt at home, and then we have them away. Yeah, again, I think we might lose the away fixture, or might drop points, sorry, I should say, in the away fixture for Bodo Glimt, but we'll definitely win at the Emirates. You know, it will be, I think that's our first Europa League game at the Emirates. There'll be a lot of hype, a lot of excitement, and I don't think we'll play a terrible team. I think you'll maybe see maybe not Martinelli, but you might see like Jesus starting, even though we have Liverpool coming up later in October. You know, a couple days after, we'll have a couple first team players, just because it is the first one at the Emirates. But then, you know, I can see us maybe dropping some points here to Bodo Glimt. Maybe we get a bit cocky and we try and, like, you know, if we beat Liverpool now or pick up some points, we're like, oh, we better go on a good run now. Keep that form up for Leeds. Maybe we'll drop some points there. And then we have PSV at home. I believe PSV is the best other team in the group. And either of these games we could drop points or maybe even lose. But I'm going to say a draw at home and we'll beat them away. Why not? That'll be my prediction. But that's what, you know, I think we'll get one draw and one win from the PSV games. And then finally we have Zurich at home, and I fully expect us to win that match. Even if, you know, by then we've secured going to the knockouts. I do think we will beat Zurich, even if we're playing our second team, right? Even though it was a narrow game last time, we should beat Zurich. And you know what? If what I've said here and, you know, what I'm saying will happen comes out to be true, Arsenal Football Club could genuinely challenge for the title, because we will be in such a good position. We would have breezed the Europa knockouts. We would have breezed the Premier League, even teams like Liverpool and Chelsea. You know, it would be really good to beat those two. You know, even if we lose a game to like Leeds and maybe we lose to Wolves or something, we lose two of these games, right? I would love us to get the 3 points in Chelsea and Liverpool, because the fact that if we beat big teams like that, like we did against Spurs the 1st of October, would prove that we are able to do it further. Because yes, we did it against Spurs, and that's why I didn't make this video before that Spurs match, because I have to judge this Liverpool fixture and this Bodo Glimt fixture off of that Spurs match, I think, because we are able to see that the Emirates elevates the crowd, and now we are able to see that during the Liverpool fixture, during the Liverpool fixture, they'll be low on confidence, and we'll be at a higher confidence. And we'll know they'll be on low on confidence because they drew to Brighton and we battered Spurs. So we'll be high on confidence. That's why you need to wait for. That's why I felt like I needed to wait for the Spurs match to make this fixture, because it is going to judge a lot of what we do next in the Premier League and maybe a little bit in the Europa League. But anyway, let me know if you enjoyed the video. Let me know how many points out of, I believe it was 6, out of 6 games. So out of 18 points. Yeah, let me know out of 18 points, how many points you think we'll get in the Premier League leading into the World Cup. Let me know if you think we'll maybe lose one of these games. And if I'm chatting shit, I have said that we'll get 16 points from 18 going into the World Cup, because I think we'll win all of them, but we will draw to Chelsea. However, you let me know if you think I'm chatting out my arse. And yeah, remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and goodbye.